In Nigeria, majority of cities are fast becoming homes to scores of individuals due to influx, rapid growing population, and rapid urbanization, among other factors. With this trend, there has been increase in the demand for houses across the country. With a population of approximately 197 million, coupled with high demand in housing units, both in quantity and quality, there is need to seriously address the issue of housing affordability and housing shortage in Nigeria. Welcome to another informative episode of Housing Development. I am Fleur Arnie, your housing diva. The headline news is up next. I'll be back shortly.
The Kano State Emergency Management Agency on Sunday said no fewer than 95 farms and property valued at 1.5 billion naira had been destroyed by flood in 8 local government areas. The Executive Secretary of the agency, Alhaji Saleh Jili, who made the disclosure, noted that the Nigeria Meteorological Agency had earlier predicted flooding in 25 local government areas of the state as a result of expected heavy rainfall. About 26 persons were killed, 2,026 houses destroyed, 95 rice farms washed away, and 19 persons injured due to flooding in the state, he said. Alhaji Jili listed the affected local government areas as Bunkure, Minjibiri, Terani, Dogua, Rano, Ungogo, Tudunwada, and Sanyawa. He stated that relief materials have been distributed to some of the victims at the local government areas towards alleviating their sufferings. According to him, the state government, in collaboration with the federal government, has set up an internally displaced persons camp equipped with mattresses and beddings for flood victims with capacity to accommodate over 700 persons. The chairman of MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, Dr. Ernest Ndukwe, recently said the company will invest over 600 billion naira in network infrastructure in the next 3 years to improve telecommunication services and promote long-term business that will enhance economic growth of Nigeria. Ndukwe, who disclosed this during the company's 20th anniversary celebration, said the firm was committed to specifically expanding its rural connectivity to reach areas that were underserved across the country. Also speaking, the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Carl Toriola, said MTN Nigeria is a Nigerian entity and will continue to do things that will promote the growth of the Nigerian economy through partnerships and long-term value business. According to him, as part of the celebration, MTN had initially announced it would give out 20 brand new Honda cars to 20 customers. The CTO of MTN Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed Yusuf, while fielding questions from journalists, said MTN will continue to work with the state government and state government agencies to address the issue of right-of-way charges to enable MTN roll out more of its services, including broadband and 5G services. Abuja International Housing Show presents a youth competition on affordable housing, designs and ideas for young professionals in the Nigeria construction industry. With a star prize of 500,000 naira and lots of consolation prizes for top finalists. Who can participate? Any Nigerian youth who is an undergraduate or graduate with not more than 10 years post-graduation experience, specializing in either architecture, building, civil engineering, estate management, quantity survey, town planning, and other related disciplines. Simply come up with an affordable housing design, as this competition will center on affordable housing design, production, and finance using value engineering. Winners will be announced at the Nigeria Housing Awards in December 2021. Are you still darling? Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit our website www.ihsabuja.com/youth-competition to showcase your creativity, talent, and innovation. Brought to you by the 15th Abuja International Housing Show and some of its sponsors and partners.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amin.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
That's a news update. For more news on housing, construction, and finance, do well to visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Just as the rate of homelessness and high cost of rent in some major cities are alarming, the existing supply of housing cannot match the increase in demand. The government drives towards housing for all as contained in a national housing policy, which aims to provide affordable housing for all, has not been achieved so far. According to the stakeholders in our next report, they say non-implementation of housing policy is a major setback.
The housing sector of any country can boost or mar the economy, depending on the manner government wants to run its policies. No matter how a government looks at housing, it remains a fundamental human right, as enshrined in the United Nations Habitat Agenda and universally accepted as the second most important human need. In 1991, the National Housing Policy was enacted in order to propose possible solutions to housing problems in Nigeria. At inception, the basic goal of the policy was to provide affordable housing to accommodate Nigerian households in a livable environment. However, 29 years after the promulgation of the policy and 21 years after the target year, 2000, many Nigerians are still unable to own a house while several others are living in indecent houses. Speaking on this, Victor Onukwugha, the president, Association of Housing Corporations of Nigeria, says the implementation of housing policies are crucial for the provision of affordable housing in the country.
In recent times, some of these policies the government have jettisoned. The government is not implementing them. We have not been walking the talk. So that's the problem we have with housing problem in Nigeria. We churn out policies, we churn out programs, but none of them is being implemented.
Speaking further, he highlights finance and land acquisition as major setback to housing development.
Property development is a business that thrives on land, on finance, and these are the major problems we have because the land use decree has made it cumbersome for the developers to get land. And of course, when we talk about financing, there are two aspects of financing. That's the construction loan and the mortgage loan. The construction loan is for the developer to keep churning out properties or houses, whereas the buyers, the off-takers, must have access to fund through mortgages to buy what has been churned out. So this problem, the problem of finance and the problem of land acquisition are the major problems the developers have. And they need government intervention in order to make it. Yeah, they are trying. They have been able to grapple with some of these things and are forging ahead. But they could do more if you have government intervention in all those things.
The managing director of Dynamic Mayor Edge, Mayowa Olurishe, suggested the need to review the housing policy and also to review the Land Use Act to ensure better access to land and faster registration process of land title to developers.
One of the major policies that has affected, that is affecting the real estate environment is our Land Acts policy. It's so rigid, if I can use that word, such that it's difficult to get a land. And knowing fully well that the housing deficit is so very, very large and wide, I think I will look into this policy and make a review. It will help the getting of land come easy. And when it comes easy, I think it also helps, but in turn, it helps people build more. Developers like us face these challenges of sales. What do I mean? You have to balance your sales to the land value. So when the land value is very, very high, of course, automatically affects the construction of the house and the sales of the house. So I think the government could look into the Land Act and make it easy to, to get or allocations, and also look at sales of land. We could regulate all of these things. I think by so doing, it will go a long way to also reducing the housing deficit. Another challenge, which is a major act, also a major factor, a player in the industry, is material inflation. And this has really also collapsed or affected the industry a lot, because of course you cannot build with substandard materials, and if materials are not being regulated, it has a very, very bad way of affecting the industry, because the way you buy the material also affects what you sell. Like I can assure you, between the past 6 months from now, we've had inflation of over 200% in a few materials in the building industry, and you know what that translates into. So if governments could help and put certain policies to regulate certain things like that, I think to go a long way and help in the housing industry.
According to architect Adewumi Okupe, he points that there is a disconnect between the policy and those that will implement the policy as a major challenge.
And like someone said today, he was asking, does it not appear as if the policies are just being made for the sake of it? Are there real intentions behind the policies? So I would say that the government should be advised that they should have real, genuine intentions, have real solid visions before they even come up with the policies, because the intention is what is going to drive the policy. If the real intention is not there, if it's just a political propaganda, of course, at the end of the day, once you get the applaud of the populace for bringing up the policy, you have achieved your aim. So there will be no push. But if it's something that comes from the heart, that is genuine, then the push will be there to see it being implemented.
The problems that are associated with the national housing policy include implementation, inadequate research and studies on the formulation and execution of the policy, inadequate funding, shortage of skilled manpower in the building industry, insufficient infrastructural amenities, as well as ineffective housing finance.
Hi, I'm Bob Weinsheng, CEO of iBuild Global. Keep watching the Housing Development Program.
To reduce the housing shortfall in the country and develop more affordable housing for low-income Nigerians, the gap between policy formulation and policy implementation must be bridged by ensuring the complete implementation of all formulated policies and adequate collaboration among the stakeholders. You're still watching Housing Development. I'll be back in a moment.
Abuja International Housing Show presents a youth competition on affordable housing, designs and ideas for young professionals in the Nigeria construction industry. With a star prize of 500,000 naira and lots of consolation prizes for top finalists who can participate. Any Nigerian youth who is an undergraduate or graduate with not more than 10 years post-graduation experience, specializing in either architecture, building, civil engineering, estate management, quantity survey, town planning, and other related disciplines. Simply come up with an affordable housing design, as this competition will center on affordable housing design, production and finance using value engineering. Winners will be announced at the Nigeria Housing Awards in December 2021. Are you still darling? Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit our website www.ihsabuja.com/youth-competition to showcase your creativity, talent, and innovation. Brought to you by the 15th Abuja International Housing Show and some of its sponsors and partners.
Welcome back. Town Planner Olutoyin Ayinde, the national president, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, has called on the government to give fiscal planning the attention it deserves, as this will help increase the development potentials of the nation. Have a look.
The national president of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, NITP, Town Planner Olutoyin Ayinde, has called on government in Nigeria, from the federal to the state, to implement the National Urban and Regional Planning Law. He made the appeal at a press conference titled, "We have been joking, now is the time to plan," held at the NITP Bawabwari House, Abuja. The NITP national president disclosed that the Nigerian nation has not given fiscal planning the attention it deserves, and this continues to limit the development potentials of the nation.
Many times, the emphasis has been on economic planning, neglecting its physical reality, that is, fiscal planning. There is a nexus between economic planning and fiscal planning, but this clearly is not understood by those at the helm of affairs.
According to Town Planner Ayinde, land resources are fixed and cannot be increased while our population keeps increasing. He said the scarcity of this resource and the desperate need to have it have triggered many intercommunal clashes between communities. Hence, the imperative to plan is on us like a thief in the night.
The incidence of the farmers-herders clash, which has not abated, further underscores the importance of land in economic and physical development. All of these clashes had never existed when our population was low, and it seemed that our land resource was inexhaustible. Now that reality has dawned, and we even have less land resource to ascribe to the Nigerian territory, having lost Bakassi to Cameroon. Added to the consequences of climate change, there is the obvious necessity to manage this scarce resource.
The NITP national president, Town Planner Olutoyin Ayinde, emphasized that it is the responsibility of government all over the world to plan, while it is the duty of town planners to make their acquired knowledge in the art and science of town planning to put government plans into workable blueprint to guide the physical and economic development of human settlements, stating that town planning answers to good governance.
The only way to manage a scarce resource is to plan it.
Town Planner Ayinde said the reality about physical planning is that we either plan or perish. He called on the media to help in propagating this gospel by making Nigerians aware of what physical planning truly is, and that they deserve to live in better and functional communities than they live now. He asked the government and the people to stop joking, as now is the time to plan so that we can avert the impending disaster.
I'm Debbie Erb. I work for OPIC in the United States, and keep watching the Affordable Housing Development Program.
Town Planner Olutoyin Ayinde there, the national president, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. All right, moving on. Many Nigerians find it difficult to cope with regular and prompt rent payment. This makes the aspiration of the average Nigerian to own a house or occupy adequate housing. Housing development crews sampled the opinions of some Nigerians on how much should a two-bedroom be sold to make home ownership easier for a common man. Let's find out on Voices on the Street.
Okay, I think like 2 million or 2.5 because the salary and everyday increase and bills are increasing. So I think 2.5 is okay. If you're saving up, you should be able to save up to that maybe in less than 2-3 years. you get yours.
Ideally, if everything is okay and every situation is normal, 2-bedroom flat it's not supposed to be more than 3 million naira, maximally 3 million naira. But as we speak today, there are some areas in which if you are looking for 2-bedroom flat to buy, you spend as high as 10 million naira or even more. The government is not doing well enough. The salaries are not increasing, and we spend more. Cost of goods and services are exorbitantly. Therefore, if the government can come in and create a kind of a palliative in which people can easily own a house, then I feel that they can subsidize it.
2-bedroom, like let's say 10 million is okay. 10 million. And it's based on the area. It's based on the area. 10 million, 8 million is okay.
Please let it not pass 10 million, like, if I may say, 10 million at least, so that everybody will be affordable. At least an average Nigerian will own a house, just like other countries the way they used to do. Like we say here, we say houses are very expensive. You find out there's no house that's less than from 50 upward million. And it's unfortunate, it's not everybody that can afford 50 million up to 100 million in Nigeria. Because the average Nigerian, at least his salary, it might be either 150 or 120, if I may say. So somebody who's collecting salary of 120, how on earth can he own a house of 50 million? It can't be possible. If government will subsidize it for average Nigerian to own a house, a 2-bedroom at the urban area from 10 million at least. Let it start from 10 million.
When you want to buy a house, it depends on the area where the house is, where it's located, where the estate is located. Depends on the environment, and it depends on the owner of the estate. You know, it depends. I don't know how much you bought the land, the facilities you want to put in place. I don't know. You are the one that will know. So all this put together will not give you the price you want to sell it. It is not the buyer that will determine that. Depends on me. Depends on what I have. It depends on my purse, and depends on, like I said, the environment, the vicinity, the proximity of that particular area to wherever I'm working or where my business is. So it depends on me. So if you say 500 million, if I have it, I'll buy it. If it is going to be carcass, it should not be more than 5 million. But if it is a complete, like the electrical fittings, some other fittings in the house, let's say between 7.5 or 8 million, it should be okay.
At least, they should be giving us at least 1.2, 1.5, it's okay. 1.2, 1.5 is okay. Then some of us can manage it.
Like here in Banes, I think that a house should be like 4 million, a 2-bedroom per apartment. Then somewhere like Kubwa should be 1.5 million in Kubwa. Then Maraba and other places should be like 1 million.
Beyond 1 to 2 million highest is okay. But now, as the things goes on, this like 3 million, 4 million, which is not proper. But I think it's supposed to be 1.5 to 2 million.
There you have it. According to the respondent, a 2-bedroom apartment should be sold for 2 million naira. Some say 4 million, 8 million, while others say 10 million naira. When we talk of affordability, for some people, all housing is affordable, no matter how expensive. For others, no housing is affordable except it is below 5 million naira, while others, unless it is free.
I am Dr. Sam Senate Committee Chairman on Housing. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
Housing is a fundamental right, as citizens cannot enjoy all the rights without it. A household expenditure on housing is usually the one which takes the largest share of its budget. Lowering housing costs then means greater opportunities for households to spend more money on other goods and services, which contribute to the creation of new jobs. Affordable housing is a service of general interest, an important pillar for a social, sustainable and inclusive society. On that note, I wrap up today's episode of Housing Development. Thanks for watching. I remain your housing diva, Flora Annie. See you soon.